LAR way.
Salt Lake City Jazz our way.
What else is there to say? Down 0-2. No intro for today's podcast. Let's just get right into the basketball games, the Clippers and the Jazz. And as I just mentioned, the Clippers did lose this game and did fall down 0-2. There's a lot that happened in this game. There's a lot that happened. You want to help me go over it?
Yeah, I'll help you out. Well, number one, Donovan was killing.
Yep.
Donovan was killing. But it started off really horrible for the Clippers in a way. Well, I'm not going to say it started off crazy because it wasn't that bad. But the stars weren't in it. Like, they struggled in that first half. And the only person who really had it going for them was Bobby Shmurda. Bobby Shmurda had them going for him in the first half. He was getting big buckets. But then something happened, and the switch kind of turned for them in that third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
It really turned for them in that third quarter. They stick this on that. I saw them doing the beginning of the season. I don't know what happened to it because they did not do it much, but they switched to a zone defense. But as I was saying, they switched to a zone defense. They started communicating more. They started to get more into the passing lanes. They made it more difficult for the Jazz to get up shots in that third quarter. And basically, while Reggie Jackson still kind of had it going, Kawhi started to get buckets. Like, PG started to assert himself. And then the shots started coming for them. And then, it started to build back their momentum. Their momentum started to get up there and things like that. And then, next thing, as the fourth quarter came along, it was a close battle, and they eventually took the lead.
Because of Reggie Jackson.
Yes. Reggie Jackson with a big bucket to give them the lead. But then, next thing, probably like a second later, it was gone. They couldn't buy a shot. Utah's defense was once again great, especially their paint defense, their interior defense, because it's like, the Clippers basically had to settle for threes, and then that stopped falling for them. And the Jazz went on their run offensively. Just unlike the Clippers in that situation, the Jazz had it going from deep, especially. Just had it going from deep. And that's how they limited them, really, to be honest.
Yep. Jazz definitely had it going from deep. Donovan.
Yeah.
Jordan Clarkson, Joe Ingles. Yeah, when the Jazz get hot from three, so it's hard to stop them. And yet, the Clippers, they got back into this game.
Yeah.
Based off their defense, as you've said, playing zone. Reggie Jackson, Kawhi Leonard stepped up in the second half.
Yeah.
I wish we got more for Paul George. But I'm starting to sound like a broken record.
Yeah, at least he.
But he did play better than last game.
Yeah.
So he was stop settling, please. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but he did play better. He did play better in this game, especially late.
Yeah.
Almost just like last game as well. But last game was very late, and he was playing worse.
Yeah.
He was doing a little bit better. But this is the reason why I picked this Jazz team to win the series. I mean, they're just so many different ways that they can kill you.
Yeah, there's a reason why I flip-flopped. Because, again,
way before that, but
all right, calm down. But yeah, man, this Utah Jazz team, they look like a different monster. The way it looked like in that third quarter, that's what showed me what could actually expose them or be their downfall if things end up going bad in the series. The fact that what was the last time they've been in the second round since they beat OKC, right? Since
Yeah,
that was the last time being that deep. The Clippers team never been that deep either.
that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago. But they put it all together. But could their dismantle be because of the fact that they can't really when it comes down to tough pressure moments like this, could they hold up? In my opinion, and I think you will agree with me, of course they can, because they've been in a couple of situations like these in the regular season, in which their backs was against the wall and they still found some way to get out of it. So that's what I thought. That's what I looked at as a possible downfall if anything does go wrong later on in the series. But they look great. They just look great at this moment, even though they made the Clippers come back on them like that. They didn't look phased. They didn't look faltered. They don't get me wrong. Donovan Mitchell was frustrated kicking the chair and stuff, but
Yeah.
they were calm. They didn't look rattled.
Mm-hmm.
I put it like that.
Yeah. See, they want to learn from their mistakes.
Mm.
Last year they blew a 3-1 lead, but it's a new year in the second round now. And didn't you say that you think the Clippers should have done something differently in the fourth quarter? Because Gobert was kind of killing them down low, especially getting rebounds.
I wanted to know where DeMarcus Cousins was. And there's no disrespect to Zubac, because Zubac is a really good player, but
I mean, they went small.
That's the thing. You see, they go small and Gobert is going to kill them interior wise if you try to go small. They have nobody there, and that's why I'm like, where's Cousins? Where is Cousins? If I feel like with the way Cousins is built as a player, he could handle Gobert. He's handled Gobert before, even before the injuries. Like what the, you telling me
What?
I thought you was about to say something because I saw you made that face a little bit. But
Keep going.
But I'm like, you put DeMarcus Cousins. I feel like Cousins could give you product. You obviously seen a little bit last game, even though it was that much. You seen how quickly he kind of had that small impact on the team when he came in, and he did it again tonight a little bit. That's the reason I'm saying, you put him in the game, he could probably give you production on both ends of the floor. He could try his best to limit Gobert and give you some internal points down low, because he probably helps you still give yourself an opportunity to help space and spread the floor to give you an opportunity to get inside the paint, while also trying to limit Gobert and limit his opportunities from getting easy baskets inside. If that makes sense. I think I kind of messed that up a little bit.
Yeah, true. I mean, the main problem, with Gobert was, well, he was being great defensively as always, but it was a rebounding.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 20 rebounds on the night.
Yeah.
And also, along with the easy buckets that he gets inside.
But look at that though. You put Cousins on him, Cousins is gonna be bumping, muscling, everything. Cousins is gonna make it, even if he gets 20 rebounds, Cousins is gonna make it real difficult for him. Real difficult.
I mean, yeah, true. But the problem I think that fall for the Clippers was the perimeter. Their perimeter defense and their perimeter offense. They didn't shoot the ball really well. While the Jazz shot the ball very well.
Well, we saw what happened in that fourth quarter, that late run. And we also saw what Donovan and Jordan were doing from beginning to end. So,
Yep.
so it's just like, and again, it's Donovan. So I don't know how to really.
Because when the Clippers got on their run,
yeah,
the Jazz kind of went a little bit iffy, and they got hot. Used parts of Kawhi and Reggie, and then it's just flipped right back to what it was.
Yeah.
Jazz got hot again, and they went cold from shooting. Jazz went hot shooting.
Yeah. They couldn't buy a shot. And again, it's all thanks to that Jazz defense. The Jazz defense limited them internally from getting points on the inside. Like, you could see a lot of passing, and they, as a result, they had to settle for threes, and the threes were not going down for them. It was just not going down for them, and it happened at the wrong moment because they really had some good momentum going up there, especially after Reggie Jackson hit that shot.
And that's why I think DeMarcus Cousins was not going to help them. DeMarcus Cousins, he's not as good as three-point shooters as anybody else on there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to be able to guard the three-point shooters that the Jazz have, which were killing them.
Yeah, okay. I can hear you on that part. But my thing is, I said, okay, I know he's not what he used to be, but don't forget, DeMarcus Cousins, his game has actually elevated. Don't forget, he could shoot the three, though.
He could shoot, but not better than that. Maybe better than Patrick Beverley.
Yeah.
But he's still the problem defensively with all those shooters on the floor. Because all you got to do is just have a high screen and roll for Gobert and Mitchell, or Gobert and Ingles, or whoever it may be. Yeah, switch on to him, or it's just gonna be a late switch, or he's gonna come and try to test, then go back to Gobert, which is gonna leave a tight. It's gonna be the space, an open look for these Jazz shooters, and they're gonna shoot and they're gonna make it.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying from that point. I see.
Well, it's not 2017.
Hey man, it was just a suggestion. I felt like he kind of been out there. I felt like he kind of did something though. I feel like he kind of tried to limit or restrict something against that Jazz team.
Maybe, but I guess we'll have to find out in game 3. So now, the Clippers do lose this game, and the Jazz get the home sweep and go up 2-0.
LA their way.
Speaking of teams going up 2-0, the Nets entered Milwaukee going up 2 to nothing. And from the start of the game, in that first quarter, Giannis and Middleton. The Bucks scored 30 points in the first quarter. Giannis had 15. Middleton had 15.
That's not good.
Both of them scored all of the Bucks points in the first quarter.
That is not good team production. I'm sorry, that's great, but that's not good team production. That's not good team production. I don't care if it's that's not good team. You only got 2 players that scored majority all your buckets in that first quarter. Somebody else got to get involved now.
Ja, they were up 19.
That's great, but what happened in the second quarter then?
But we're not talking about the second quarter yet.
Okay, all right. We could talk about the fact that they both have 15 apiece.
They are 2 best players. What other players would you want? I'm sorry, maybe Ben Forbes and Pat Connaughton have 15 points each.
Well, they kind of got a bucket or 2.
I agree with you there. Because for most of this game, yeah, it was Giannis and Middleton. And it stayed Giannis and Middleton.
Exactly. Hence why I say that's not good team production.
In that first quarter, I mean, it was just them 2. They were getting the ball. I mean, just giving them the ball.
Yeah.
It's not like everybody else was struggling. Well, one was struggling. We'll get to that later. But it was just, hey, I mean, they're hot right now, so just give them the ball. It was happening at the beginning of the game.
Okay. I understand what you're saying.
But I guess in hindsight, I can see where you're going with, because it kind of led to they were the only 2 doing that. Because it felt like the Nets versus Giannis and Middleton.
Damn right.
Well, the Nets, speaking of the Nets, they got out, as I mentioned, they got out to a really rough start. And one guy in particularly, shockingly, Kevin Durant, was struggling in that first quarter, in that first half. Struggling.
I'm not worried about him.
It was very surprising to see. Especially, obviously, Kevin Durant's one of the greatest players of all time, one of the greatest scorers we have seen, one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And he comes up big in these situations, but in that first half, yeah, it wasn't his time.
Yeah, it wasn't his time, especially that first quarter.
Yeah,
It wasn't nobody's time on the Nuts squad in the first quarter. Let's just be honest about that. But then, come on now, I'm not worried about KD. Like KD, like in the first quarter, I'm not.
and we'll get to it. We'll get to it. The Bucks was up as big as 21 in that first quarter.
Yeah.
Up by 19 at the end of it.
Yeah.
Then the second quarter, I mean, the Nets, they just proving it's too much. They can just be too much, and almost like that, back in the game, almost like that back in the game, like it was nothing. 19-point deficit to them is like a 5-point deficit.
Exactly.
It's almost reminiscent of the Warriors.
Yeah.
When the Warriors be down by 20 and that third quarter hit, they up by 20.
Yeah.
But in this case, it was second quarter and the Nets weren't up by 20. They just got back into the game.
Yeah.
Due to Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown
Played really well. Stop. Bruce Brown played really well. Kyrie played really well.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant struggled in that first quarter. But all that, I mean, they got back to this game in that second quarter. And along with the fact that the Bucks struggled. Anybody not named Middleton and Giannis struggled. Drew Holiday struggled. He played awful for majority of the game. That is not like Drew Holiday.
Yeah. That isn't, and again, we always talk about this Bucks team, right? And we talk about him being the new addition and how much he could do wonders for this team in the playoffs, and like how much his game helps out with all of them, especially Giannis's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially in a half-court setting, in which when it comes down to the playoffs, you need a half-court game. You need a half-court game. That's crucial, and it's crucial. You really need a half-court game if you want to survive in the playoffs. He's that big guy. He did not look like he didn't look good. He did not look good at all.
But hey, enough of them going around. Brandon Forbes didn't look good. PJ Tucker didn't look good, and then we got to get to him later in the second half. Brook Lopez didn't look good.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was just Giannis and Middleton, and everybody. Bobby Portis was okay, but I mean he didn't really score as much.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got to give some production, especially against this Nets team. You got to get more offense going.
Exactly, because. Well, keep going. Keep talking.
Like I said, the Nets had that big second quarter to get back into this game. Then the third quarter hit. And yeah, Kevin Durant woke up. He woke up. Yep. And sorry, PJ Tucker, you can't guard him.
He tried to get to argument like that was going to throw him off too.
I mean, it was a nightmare. Kevin Durant just started going on.
And that's not even his actual name, Anthony Leon Tucker.
What does that have to do with what I am talking about?
A dude who's not even named TJ tried to get into an argument with KD. That's crazy. Thinking that was gonna throw him after the game. Are you serious? I said that's not even your real name. Get out of here.
Listen, man. Playoff basketball. And yeah, Kevin Durant got back in.
Yeah.
To the feeling, and it was pretty much back and forth in that third quarter, and then fourth quarter. Yeah, both teams kind of was bricking.
Yeah, man. To me.
It got ugly in terms of shot making.
Yeah, in terms of score, man, like it was you could tell two things for sure, and this is coming surprising from the Nets side. It was gritty and
Yes.
defensive. It was gritty and defensive, and just like we said, the sock selection and the shot making was not beautiful and it's surprising coming from the Nets side because it's just like they're one of the most beautifully made offensive teams in the league, and it didn't look cute for them. It did not look good. This is probably one of their worst projects.
Yep. Because shooters wasn't hitting.
Yeah.
Joe Harris didn't have a good game. Blake Griffin didn't have a good game. Shammer didn't have a good game. Yeah, and then on the opposite side, I mentioned the Bucks. Same thing.
Yeah.
They it was awful. Nobody could hit shots. Nobody could hit their threes. I mean, it was bad possessions, bad possessions. It was also bad shot attempts too. As Ja proves once again, and then he has terrible connection. Ethernet cable, guys. Ethernet cable. As I was saying,
Yeah.
As I was saying, Ja has terrible connection. But back to the actual game. Terrible shot selection. And also just bricks after bricks after bricks.
Yeah.
But for the Nets, it was a little bit less bricks than the Bucks.
Yeah.
And they eventually took the lead
Yeah.
at one point. As I mentioned, PJ Tucker cannot guard Kevin Durant whatsoever.
Anthony Tucker.
And the score was like 76 for a long time.
Yeah.
Tied at 76 for a long time. And then Middleton and Durant went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yep.
Did I mention that PJ Tucker can't guard Kevin Durant?
Anthony Tucker, bro.
And it just came down to the wire, as you would expect, a very low-scoring game, unlike both teams, with the shooting and scores that they have, especially for the Nets.
Yeah.
And Durant hits a three. Middleton gets a bucket because I think he's goaltending. Matter of fact,
From Blake.
The stop, and he played terrible all game, but he was there when he counted. Drew Holiday, the go-ahead layup, getting it to go to give the Bucks the lead with 16 seconds left, 17 seconds left.
Yes, 16 left.
And then, before we even get to the last point, I wanted to say Durant, like I said, was killing because PJ can't guard him. And
Tucker, bro.
Also, it was a mix of that. And, I mean, they had this high screen and roll play because Brook Lopez was on Bruce Brown.
Yeah.
And Brook Lopez just couldn't. I mean, it was just bad watch.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't help.
Yeah.
Which he should have helped. He should have just immediately trapped him. So, kid, give the ball to Bruce Brown. Kevin Durant's killing you.
Exactly.
No, and I guess Mike Budenholzer called timeout. Since then, Durant didn't score.
Yeah.
Since after that timeout. Because every time they tried to do the same play, Brook Lopez finally got up on him.
Yeah.
Durant had to pass out.
And they passed to Bruce Bowen, and I think somebody didn't Brook come up with the block anyway.
Yes, in one of the plays. Yes.
I'm talking about different. If I'm talking about the earlier play. I know Bruce Brown got blocked by Brook.
Yeah, it was one of those plays. Yes. But now let's get back to one of the final possessions for the Nets. They're down by one. Knows the ball is going to Kevin Durant. Do a screen. Actually, no, I messed up. Oh yeah, actually, yeah. They're trying to get the ball to Kevin Durant on an inbound. They can't. I mean, they're just trapping them. They trying to They can't get the ball to him. So instead, they try to get the ball to Kyrie.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I don't think they try to get the ball to Kyrie. They just try to inbound the ball. Ball goes awry, and Kyrie gets it, and Bruce Bowen kind of bumps into him.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie has to pass out because now they're trapping him. Because worst thing for the Bucks is to have Kyrie get the ball. So now I try to get him to pass it out, which he passes to Bruce Bowen. Bruce Brown then takes the initiative to attack the paint, try to get a layup, and misses it. Bucks get the rebound.
Were we calling him Bruce Brown and Bruce Bowen the whole time?
I think I've been calling him Bruce Bowen the whole time. I've been calling him Bruce Bowen the whole season. If you're the Bucks, that is exactly the way you draw it up.
Yeah.
That was great defensive play. Denial the ball of Kevin Durant. Gets to Kyrie, trap him. Anybody but those two guys. You don't care. Joe Harris has been shooting terribly. You know, Blake Griffin's inbounding the ball. And even though Bruce Brown is playing great, he's not Kevin Durant or Kyrie. So he doesn't put the fear in your heart that they do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what you want. That's what you want. As for the Nets, yeah, I mean, Bruce Brown, I mean, try to make a play. Understand. Try to attack. You had to step a little bit, but if you're the Nets, you know who the ball has to go to. Kevin Durant. If it can't go to him, it has to go to Kyrie. And there's no deep analysis on it.
Yeah, or if anything, because who was their inbounder?
Blake, I believe.
Blake. Yeah, so if it's Blake, and then I feel like the third most reliable option is to probably try to make up some kind of space for Joe Harris if he's on the floor. You know what I mean?
And he was on the floor. And matter of fact, Middleton had came to the paint, and I think Bruce Brown made an extra pass. However, was wide open in the corner. If KD and Kyrie doesn't have the ball, and if they can't get the ball to them, and if they're trapping them, the only way that I would want somebody else getting the ball, not named Harden, of course, is they have to be open.
Yeah, they have to be open.
Bruce Brown wasn't open.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's a win for the Bucks.
Yeah.
Even if he was open, that would still be a win for the Bucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, Middleton gets it. Goes to the free throw line, makes both, clutch. Still one possession game, down by 3. Give the ball to KD. They try his best. PJ's up on him. KD still gets the shot off and hits off the rim. As a result, we get a 86-83 win for the Bucks.
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s. Wow, that was really a crazy, wild game. And other guys for the Bucks really need to step up. Giannis and Middleton can't be doing all the work. Also, Giannis, for God's sake, please, with the free throws. My God. He airballed the free throw, got a 10-second lane violation again for the second time in the playoffs. Please. I don't even care. I mean, he shot 1 for 8 from deep. To be honest, I care more about the free throws.
Yeah.
I can't. He's too good. He's too dominant. He's too great of a player to be missing free throws. Missing threes, to be honest, for me, I understand you have to shoot better. Can't really be shooting 1 for 8 from 3. But the free throws is a problem. Shooting 4 for 9, you're the best player on the team.
Yeah.
You're a liability. You can't be a liability as the best player. You can't be a liability. Exactly. Especially when it's not like you're a center. They give you the ball. You carry the ball up sometimes on court. You're also sometimes a playmaker. That can't not happen. That's the most frustrating part about Giannis is the free throws.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Exactly. Because look at, I want to bring back to this person or anything or to another player and thing, but Shaq says it all the time, right? Shaq said he was the greatest free throw shooter, wasn't the best free throw shooter. So, but when it was time to
when it
knock him
count.
down, he did.
Mm.
Let's be honest. You look at the old footage. When it was time to knock him down, he knocked him down. Giannis, when it's time to knock him down,
It's iffy.
It's iffy. It's like, like the chances of you getting it is probably like around 30 to 40.
40-50.
Okay, 40-50. I give it
Feel
40.
bad for a free throw shooter.
Yeah.
Imagine how dominant Giannis would be if he's shooting 80% from the line. They can't foul him.
Nah, they most definitely can't. Imagine if he was shooting his threes. They most definitely can't foul him.
That'll be a different story. But free throws is the number one priority. They're free.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta hit those. You gotta find a way.
Yeah. You're not lying, man. You're not lying. But the thing is, again, the team production, though. Look at, okay, I can't even say much because the Nets team production wasn't that well, surprisingly. Even though they had big time from one bench player. But I'm more intrigued with the Bucks production because they ain't the Nets. You know what I mean? They're not the Nets. Don't get me wrong, they got shooters, but they're not the Nets.
Yeah.
They won by they won having 86 points, but you could say like 75% of the points came from, not even 75, 95% of the points came from thing. They came from Middleton and Antetokounmpo. Combined, they had 68.
68 out of their 86.
That is
18 points that the rest of the team scored.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
That can't happen. That can't happen. That can't happen because if they got lucky with the Nets playing like this. If they do this again, which I doubt they're gonna do because this is really rare. But if some weird, odd freaking reason that this happens again, and the Nets take advantage of this, yeah, you're gonna get swept. Well, they can't get swept.
Well,
now.
yeah, they can't swept now.
They can't get swept now, but yeah, they lose. They most definitely gonna lose in 5. We don't have this going to a 7 game. They're gonna most definitely lose in 5.
The good thing about it is they played horribly and got the win.
Yeah,
that is the good thing about it. If you think about it, that's one way to think about it. As a result, yes, the Bucks.
Yeah,
the Bucks do. Okay, the Bucks do take the big Game 3 win, and I guess are back in the series heading into Game 4. However, the Nets still do have the lead 2-1 in the series.
Yeah,
but all right. No news for today. So predictions for tonight's set of games. First, ESPN 7:30, Game 3 in the ATL. The Atlanta Hawks facing off against 76ers, tie series in Atlanta. Who you got?
True. I'll be honest, I forgot how many games I had this going to for the series. But I'm gonna go on the limit. I feel like Philadelphia, I feel like they finally got a game plan around Trae Young on how to limit him. Because they can't stop him, but they can limit him. I feel like they're gonna try to take this one in the A, try to still win.
We both had it in 5, by the way.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I got the Hawks. The more that I think about this series, the more that I think that the Sixers are in trouble more than I think, or more than what people think.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I'm starting to really think that the Hawks might be able to really steal this series. The more that I think about it, because yes, Trae Young did play poorly in the last game, and yes, the second half of the Sixers was big.
Yeah.
However, in Atlanta, the Hawks played great in Atlanta. They really thrive off of the fans and the energy there. Also, I don't think that second half, that bad performance from him is going to happen again. I don't think Trae Young is going to have another bad performance like he did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got the Hawks in this game.
Yeah, man. I agree with you. This is also.
No, you don't. You got Sixers.
No, I still got the Sixers. I don't have.
I mean, with the Sixers winning this game, I got Sixers winning the series too. But I
Yeah.
think that they're more in trouble than what people They
Yeah,
more.
and you
Yeah.
think that the Sixers are in trouble in terms of they could likely lose this series, unlike how it looked like when we first
Yeah.
look when we first started. And I say I agree with you because of the fact of it speaks to the testament of how underrated this Hawks team is. You said it so many times how underrated they are and how underappreciated they are because again in today's game, offensive is all of what it's about. You know what I mean? It's really all about what it's about. And this Hawks team is really good offensively. They could kill you in so many ways offensively, from deep shooting to working
Hmm.
into the paint, passing in the system, making the extra pass in order to lead to the assist. The playmaking, the triple threat position. Um, and they they play tough. They truly and honestly play tough. You know what I mean? And of course, I don't have them going to it's shocking because they got this deep so far, and they just made it back to the playoffs after three, 4 straight years of being out of it. And they're playing so well. They're playing together. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I think things flow for them. Things flow for them. So I could really see. I don't think it's gonna be no upset. But if the upset was to happen, is most likely with this series.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I do agree.
Yeah.
And next, right after that on ESPN, 10 o'clock, another game 3 in Denver, though. The Phoenix Suns, after getting the home sweep, look to steal a game in Denver. The Nuggets look to get a game and get up on the board in the series. So who do you have?
I got Denver because you know why? Denver can't go down 0-3.
They could, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, well, they could now. They could. It's like a likely chance, of course, but they can't. They can't. It's impossible for them to go down 0-3
Mm.
because you said it so many times. Once again, on and off the record, it's not a good thing if you go down 0-3. You could lose. You could go down 3-1. You could win one. You could win game 3 and lose game 4. It's still gonna be bad, but it's better than going down 0-3, losing 3 straight games in a row because it doesn't pan out well.
For the Suns' sake, let's hope they don't be up 3-1.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, I got the Nuggets
Oh,
as well.
I know you said that. I just got on why you said that.
From that kids from Colorado. But yeah, I got the Nuggets as well. But all right. I think it's time to wrap things up. Final thoughts. Real quick, interesting about the Jazz series is that game 2 win. Once again, it was without Conley.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What again, man? Look at, and this is what I want to also say a little bit in the series. It's crazy. We talking about the depth and everything, and how deep this team is. But
Yeah.
I don't think we really, truly, and honestly got in touch with the intangibles of each and every player. Well, that would be for long, but let's really talk about it. Bogdanovich is a playmaker. Ingles is an underrated playmaker. I focus so much on his shooter. I have a tendency to forget how good that he is at playing with the ball
Yeah.
in his hands and send up teammates, and how he could set them up without the ball in his hands.
Mm.
It's crazy how deep this Jazz team. That's what I'm saying. Yes, the Clippers could be the more talented team, but are they again well-rounded and knowing each other well enough to fit all together? And I think that's what's getting to the
Separates.
Clippers. Yeah, that's what separates the Jazz from the Clippers. Is the fact when you look at the Clippers, you say they're talented, but they can't really fit well in certain parts because it's just they don't have many different kind of deep schemes or plans or situations like this Jazz team do. Let's just be honest. Like the Jazz, again, they can kill you offensively, they can kill you defensively in so many ways. They're tough. They know how to come back in games. um from their star down to their bench. Each and every player are diverse in their skill set in terms of they could score the basketball, they could shoot it really well, they could defend, they could play make, like like they could just kill you in so many ways, and their communication is amazing. It's like I don't know, like it's really looking like man, it's really looking scary. The Jazz could really go to the finals for real, for real. They could really go to the finals. At first, I was like, yeah, they could get the number one seed, but could they make it to the finals? Nah, I don't see it
I
because of
believed in
what
the
passage.
Jazz.
Well, passage. I'm not saying I never believed in them. I'm just saying, like,
You didn't. You didn't. Don't do that.
well, I'm not.
You was hating
Okay.
like everybody else.
Wait. So, did you really see the Jazz going to the finals before they got close to the first seed?
What
I
you
mean,
mean
going to
before
the finals. Going to the finals. I mean, not
before the
first.
start of the season, or like what?
Like even when they were like fighting for that, even when they were having that first seed, did you really think that they was gonna make it to the finals?
Yeah, conference finals.
Not
And
conference.
if you get to the conference finals, there's a chance you get to the finals. So yes,
No. I need to
technically
know.
yes.
Did you see them going to the finals? Did you see them like when they were still up that number one seed fighting it with the Suns in the season? Did you say they could make it to the finals? Because don't forget, they never been deep since the second round. So did you really in your mind think that they were going to the finals or that they could have likely chance? Because they're a dark horse. They're always a dark horse, right? But did you really say, oh wow, I really have them over the Lakers and all these other teams that's making it to the finals? Like, did you really say that?
No, I didn't.
Let's be honest, man. They shocked the hell out of us. I did not. Whoa,
I
especially.
believed enough though. I didn't. I thought that they were a very talented team,
Mhm.
and I appreciated all that they had and the weapons they have, and Coach Snyder and Donovan Mitchell, defensive player and sixth man of the year, and the chemistry. So I respected them in which that if they did, I would be like, it would be a little bit surprising. This is obviously at that time. It wouldn't be surprising now to me.
Yeah.
At that time, it would be it would be a little surprising, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So yeah, I guess fine. You're right. You're right. I guess. Whatever.
I'm just saying, like I did not like even when they was fighting for that number one seed, I did not expect the Jazz to do what they did. But again, it attests us to how really strong and deep of a team they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Clippers suck. Like this nigga said, yeah,
I
right.
was
Like the
that
Clippers
to
suck.
Clipper.
Like
Hey, they're only down 0-2. They could come back. They were at down 0-2 in Dallas.
let me tell you something. The LA wasn't the Lakers' way, and if it wasn't the Lakers' way, it's most definitely not their way.
Listen, LAR way. LAR way.
Excuse me?
I believe that they can make the series competitive.
Excuse me?
So you flip flop, and
All
then they're
right,
gonna
all
they
right.
they're gonna win game
All right,
3, and you'll be like,
I'm
okay, yeah, I think they
all
could,
right. I'm
yeah.
joking. Okay, look, I'm joking. Look, let me ask you a question because I asked you this before, right? Before we started all this and stuff. But seriously, consider this. Think about this because I've been hearing it recently and stuff like that. And I also saw something in which they said how they felt like his confidence dropped, things like that. And I know with me saying that, you probably know who I'm about to allude to. Is Paul George a star or did he downgrade?
Downgrade from a
I mean,
star?
like, is Paul George a superstar or did he downgrade?
He downgraded. He's a star.
Okay.
He's a star that can have superstar moments. He's a star.
Do you feel like that change happened the moment he joined the Clippers?
Yes.
Okay. Because it's crazy. I was thinking about it because I was like, I was watching First Take, which a stupid idea by me. But I was watching First Take.
Hey, it's entertainment.
Yeah, it's entertainment. And I heard something that Max Kellerman said. And like, Max, his basketball opinions is kind of on and off, iffy.
Uh-huh.
But he made the statement saying Paul George is not a superstar. And I was like, wait, what? Wait, did I hear that correctly? Or am I bugging? And like, and I was like, Paul George's not a superstar, but Paul George's been one of the best top 15 players in the league for like a straight, almost a straight decade, or almost a decade. Like, so it kind of shocked me, and I was like, well, wait, what do you mean by Paul George's not a superstar? I did not believe it. I didn't want to believe it. But then you remember things that has happened recently a little bit. I feel like I heard somebody saying that it could be kind of true, but I feel like when he made that statement about the playoff P thing, I think that's when the pressure started to rise. And I felt like he did live up a little. He did live up to it though when he was in OKC though. He looked like it in Indiana. He did live up to a little bit in OKC, even though they didn't get anywhere. Let's be honest. He had great performances, even though they didn't get
All I
far.
know is almost listen, Joe Ingles, and just like last night, was giving him buckets.
Okay, yes, he was getting defensively he was, but offensively he still put up numbers.
That's the first time I heard of Joe Ingles, 2017, giving Paul George buckets.
Yes. You right.
This man that looked like he was somebody's math teacher was giving Paul George buckets.
Yes, I understand, but I felt like when he made that play with people on the ground, I thought this was going to be a big thing, and he had some great performances. But the moment he joined the Clippers, it's like
Kawhi is their superstar.
Yeah, Kawhi is a superstar, but again, what we saw with Paul George before in the playoffs.
Of course, yeah, yes, in Indiana, yes.
In Indiana, half in whole KC, but we don't know what happened. I don't know if it's the playoff P thing. Now changing the volley, disrespecting him, talking about pandemic P. I don't know what happened, but
he's playing nowhere near as bad as he was last in the bubble.
Yeah, he upgraded. He upgraded for sure.
He still needs to play better though to get to that superstar level that we've seen.
Okay.
That's why I say he's not a superstar. He's a star.
Sorry, PG, but you still a superstar in my heart.
Can't be argued as a superstar though, and he can't redeem himself in my eyes to get to that level again.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's anything less than a star. That would just be ridiculous. Anybody think that Paul George is not a star?
Yeah.
But it's just that playoff moments. Sometimes he fizzles out. Sometimes he doesn't come up when he needs to. Sometimes he doesn't have those superstar performances that you need in big situations.
Yeah.
Kawhi has, I've seen it. It's a Finals MVP 2 times.
Yeah.
So that's what it comes to. Yeah, but he can still redeem himself in my eyes. He's still playing a lot better in these playoffs than he is compared to last playoffs. So it's not the case isn't over for me.
No, he just sucks. Oh well.
Yeah, what a ball. All right. I think time. Well, actually, no. We already wrapped things up. That's all for today's podcast. So we're just gonna end it here. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching today's podcast. Make sure you tune in to tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, support the channel, give us feedback, all that good stuff.
Also follow IG and our TikTok down in the description below.
Yes, and of course, I'm Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this is the Mind of Basketball Podcast.
Playoff edition.
Playoff edition.